read a little quote this morning that said, your Monday morning thoughts set the tone for your week. And I thought, that's true. And I'm kind of I'm not a great morning person. So, I mean, I kind of like to think like my Monday thoughts set the tone, like hopefully like maybe later in the day on Monday, I can start to have better thoughts because mornings are not my mornings are like, really morning? Like I better get my 3 cups of coffee in my, but I do think that that's true. And what a great thing that we get to do yoga on Monday morning. Uh, so I just invite you in your practice this morning to think about your thoughts and keep your thoughts during this practice positive and grateful. I mean, the fact that we are here and that you're able to log in online, or that you're able to be here in the studio, that we're able to stand on our mats, means that we have so much to be grateful for. There are so many people who aren't as fortunate as we are to be able to take 45 minutes out of their Monday to breathe and to move their bodies and to just be, to be mindful and be able to move. And so I invite you for this Monday morning practice to be in a space of gratitude, positivity. So we'll just come to mountain pose here, feet about hip width distance apart, palms rolling forward, our shoulders roll down and back, leaving lots of space for the neck. And the crown of our head begins to reach up towards the sky, elongating through the spine. And then we can begin to bring our awareness to the breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Slowing and lengthening the breath. Inviting our inhale all the way down into the depths of the belly, maybe even causing the belly to rise, the chest to expand. And then exhale fully. Just the act of taking deep breaths has so many health benefits. We can increase our cardiovascular endurance, which I think is fascinating, that as we use our entire lung capacity to inhale and exhale, we actually increase our body's ability to absorb oxygen and to take in oxygen. So when we are doing more aerobic activity, these deep breaths that we take in yoga practice actually benefit that aerobic activity. Taking deep breaths lowers our blood pressure and our heart rate. We'll reach through the fingertips and reach those arms up overhead. You can lift the gaze to look up past the fingertips. And then exhale, still reaching through the fingertips. Exhale the hands all the way down beside the hips. Inhale, reaching through the fingertips. Inhale all the way up overhead, reaching. And exhale, releasing down. Allowing your breath to be your metronome. Good. On our next inhale, let's keep our arms up overhead, pressing the palms together, and exhale as you draw the hands to heart center. Press those palms in towards one another so the elbows are pressing in, hands are pressing into one another. And then exhale, release those hands down. Open the palms forward. Again, inhale to rise. Exhale, pressing the palms together. Elbows pressing in towards one another. Really engaging the core here, tightening. Exhale, releasing down and rolling the palms forward. Good. Again, same thing. Good. Now we're going to reverse that. So we'll inhale up and exhale. Take those fingertips down the spine. Tucking the gaze slightly here. Just take a breath. Inhale and then lengthen those hands up overhead. And exhale, release the hands down beside the hips. Good. Same thing again. Reverse prayer. Inhale those arms up overhead. Exhale, press the palms together and draw those fingertips down the spine. Inhale to rise. Exhale, releasing down. We have one more just like that. Press the palms together, fingertips down the spine. Tuck the gaze slightly. Stay here for a breath. And all the way up overhead. Exhale, releasing down. Nice. Let's roll our shoulders here. On the inhale, we'll bring the shoulders forward and up to the ears. And then exhale, draw them down and back. Or back and down. Forward, up, back, and down. Good. Let's reverse those. So we'll take the shoulders back together, up, forward, and down. One more. Good. All right, we're going to make those backward circles again, but we're going to let our shoulders rotate separately from one another. So we'll take that right shoulder back and then left shoulder up and back, just rotating side to side, and let your torso sway with you, kind of following that shoulder. So the shoulder leads the way, but the torso and maybe even hips follow along with it. We're just getting a nice little rotation in the spine. Breathing. And meeting back up at center. Good. Rolling those palms forward, shoulders down and back. And then let's bend our knees and take our hands down to our thighs here. So we're going to tuck our tailbone and tuck our chin to our chest here, letting the spine arch, drawing the navel in towards the spine. And then inhale, open up the heart, lift the gaze high, and lift the sits bones. Let the belly sway down towards the floor. And exhale, tuck the chin to the chest, tuck the tailbone. Good, we're flowing here from one posture to the other. Let's see about one more. We're starting to feel our legs maybe. All right, let's inhale, come all the way up. Give those legs a little break. And exhale down. Good. All right, we're going to bring both hands straight in front of us and press those palms together. So feel here that you're engaged through the core, so that you're drawing those hip points towards one another and that you're grounding down through those feet. And from here, we're going to act like we're opening a door. So we're going to take this right hand and inhale it all the way back, following that hand with the gaze. And then exhale, go ahead and shut that door. This is nice and slow and controlled. And we're engaging the abdominals here at the center. So we're really pressing those palms together, grounding down through those feet. Inhale, we're going to open that door slowly and let the gaze follow those hands. Notice that the weight is still evenly distributed between the feet. And exhale, close that door, press the palms together. Good. Again, you're letting your own breath be your metronome here, so there's no need to keep up with anyone or anything other than your breath. And even then, if it feels best to you to hold for a breath rather than flowing right through, you can open up and then hold for an inhale and an exhale, and then close that door. Good. Let's go one more on each side. Meeting back up at center. And we're going to inhale our arms all the way up overhead. Gaze follows. Exhale, circle those arms around and then sit down like you're going to sit down into a chair. So set your weight back into your heels. Engage that core. Tuck the tailbone slightly and lift those arms out in front of you. Palms facing one another. And if that's too much, take those hands right here to heart center or even on the thighs. So wherever works best for you, the farther out in front of you you get those arms, the more challenging this posture is going to be. Chair pose. Breathing. Inhale, come all the way up and circle the arms around. Exhale as you sit back down into chair. So drop those sits bones like you're sitting down into a chair here. Keep that core nice and tight. Again, take those arms to the position that works best for you. And breathe. Good. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale. This is our last one. Sitting back down into chair one more time. Really focus on your breath here. Good. Coming all the way up, standing up tall. And exhale, release those arms down. Good. Give it a little shake. All right, a little balancing here. So we're going to take tree pose. So we're going to bring all of our weight to our right foot. And we're going to find something ahead of us that's not moving to cast our gaze. So find that focal point ahead of you. And then begin to explore that right foot. Maybe rocking forward and back over the ball of the foot and over the heel. Yeah, when we're balancing, if you want to be near a chair or near a wall for a little additional support or even just to have it there if you need it, that's great. All right. So when you find yourself kind of centered on that right foot, you can open that left hip out to the side of the room. And now you can keep that left foot on the floor like a little kickstand throughout this whole posture. Or if you feel comfortable, you can bring the sole of the foot to the inside of that right leg. And the more that we press our leg and our foot together, the more stability and centering we're going to find here. So wherever you are, if the foot is at a little kickstand or if it's resting on the inside of the leg, when you feel steady here and you have that focal point, you can work on growing your tree's branches and making your branches look however you choose this morning. Sometimes I like to have bent branches or reaching up tall, straight branches. Breathing here. And don't shy away from movement. There's going to be some fluidity here in our balancing posture. So you may sway or you may even kind of get the little shakes, when that leg starts to sort of quiver. Don't shy away from that. Just embrace it. If you find yourself falling out and needing to get back in, that's great. We're not trying to be statues. Good. And then as you're ready, releasing that left foot back down and give the legs a little shake. Just rest everything here. And we're going to take it over to the other side. So finding that focal point and then exploring that foot. Don't just jump into your balancing posture. Give yourself some time. We all have sort of tendencies here in our feet. Lots of us spend a lot of time out over our toes. Some of us really sit into our heels, right? Some of us are more supinated or pronated, so we tend to be more on the outside edge of our foot or inside. And so that's why we do this exploration before our balancing postures, just sort of to notice that and then pay attention to kind of where you feel the most supported, right? For most of us, it's going to be somewhere centered over that foot with the inside and outside of the foot working, the front and back of the foot working. So once you feel centered there and you've done that exploration, then start opening that right hip. Again, that foot can stay on the floor or travel up the inside of the leg. And as you're ready, you can grow your branches. And slowly coming down, giving everything a little shake. Very nice. All right, let's find the front of our mat, or just make sure we have some room behind us wherever we are. And we're gonna put the weight on our right foot as we step our left foot back behind us and turn those toes out about 45 degrees, preparing for warrior two. So we're gonna open up our hips here, taking that left hip back behind us and bending that front knee. So that right knee is going over the ankle, just stacking that knee on top of the ankle, and then inhaling those arms up to shoulder height, gazing out over the right fingertips, warrior two. So in warrior two, we want to feel really strong, like we're grounding down through our feet, feeling very stable here. Just take some breaths in through the nose and out through the nose. then seeing if we might maintain that bend in that right leg as we inhale that right arm high to reverse warrior. Maybe the gaze looks up past those right fingertips and that left hand just comes down that left leg as a guide. We're breathing here, keeping that bend in the right leg. And then from here, we're going to take that right forearm and place it on that right thigh, reaching that left arm up overhead. There are no rules here with the gaze or where your eyes are. So if it feels best to look straight ahead of you, that's great. If it feels good to look up past those left fingertips or down at the floor. These are all great options here. Breathing. Good. Lift those left fingertips up, up, up to the sky, lifting and lengthening. Come back to shoulder height. And then let's step that left foot forward to meet the right. Very good. Inhale really tall and exhale forward fold. Soften those legs. So you can support yourself here, hands on the thighs, or you can wrap those arms around the legs. Forward fold, just letting the torso hang down over the legs. Soften those knees as much as you need to. Good, and then bend those knees just a little bit more and round up the spine. Begin stacking the vertebrae one on top of the other as you come all the way up to standing up tall. Ah, very nice. All right, we're going to transfer all of the weight to the left foot as we step our right foot back behind us, turning those toes out and finding warrior two. So here we're going to open that right hip, rolling it back towards that right heel, and then we're bending that left knee and inhale the arms to shoulder height, looking out past those left fingertips, and breathe. This is a great time to let the corners of the mouth turn up into a smile. You can't see mine, but I am. Smiling softens the muscles of the face, releases and relaxes the muscles of the face. Good. Let's see if we can keep that left knee bent as we inhale our left arm high. Right arm can just guide down that right leg. Good. One more big breath here. And then exhale as you take that left forearm down to that left thigh. Right arm reaches straight up overhead. We're lifting up through those right fingertips. So we're not slouching down into that left arm. We're reaching up and out. Again, that gaze can be wherever feels best for your spine. Some of us might find ourselves looking down at that left foot. Others may look straight ahead or up past the right fingertips. And now we're lifting up those right fingertips, drawing us up to the sky and bringing those hands back to shoulder height. Good. Go ahead and step that right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale really tall and exhale, soften those knees, forward fold. Just let the torso fold over the legs. Bend those knees as much as you need to here. Lots of deep breaths here. Good. Bend those knees even more as you round the spine and very slowly stack the vertebrae, letting the head come up very, very slowly. All the way up. Good. We're going to take the weight back to that right leg and take that left foot back behind us, finding warrior two one more time. So those left feet, that left foot is turned out at about 45 degrees. Inhale, arms to shoulder height. And this time we're just going to dance through those two poses. So we'll inhale, take that right arm high. And then exhale, bring that right arm forward as if you're finding that right thigh, or maybe you're able to find your right thigh. Inhale back, right arm lifts up high. Inhale here and exhale forward. Good. See if you can bend, keep the bend in that right leg, just flowing with your own breath. Last one. Good. Reaching up high and then meeting back up at shoulder height. Good. Step that left foot forward. Good. Come all the way up. Look up at the sky. And this time, let's just exhale. Release those arms straight down to the hips. Good. Weight into that left foot as you step the right foot back. Rolling that hip open. Arms to shoulder height. Warrior two. Good. Inhale, left arm lifts up high. And exhale, forearm comes down towards that thigh. Right arm lifts up overhead. Good. Inhale to reverse. Left arm lifts up high. And exhale, forearm down to thigh. Good. Flowing with your own breath. Good. Last one here. Up to reverse, lift those left fingertips and down to shoulder height. Good. Step that right foot forward, reaching really tall, and exhale, releasing down. Good. All right, we're going to make our way down to the floor. So I invite you to, if you have like a throw pillow or a folded up blanket, or if you're really comfortable sitting on the floor, that's great too. Or a low chair, whatever's comfortable for you. I'm going to go down all the way to the floor. But if I had my blanket handy, I might put it under my hips just because it feels really good. All right. So let's sit, feet extended out in front of us, toes drawing up towards the sky. I'm going to give you a moment here just to make sure you're comfortable, or if you need to grab a blanket, you're able to do that. Trying to look around the studio, Michelle, to see if we have anything here we can use. Maybe a blue mat. Do you want to sit on something? All right. Get us each a couple of these. Just put them under our tush. There we go. All right. A beach towel works great, or a towel. Anything you have handy. Oh yeah, that feels so much better. All right, lifting those toes up towards the sky. We're going to sit up tall and find those hands on the thighs. And then just feel really lifted here. So you can press those hands down into the legs and feel that length growing through the waist. And then we're going to walk our hands down our legs. Okay, and we're all different here. Our mobility is different. So we're keeping our spine long. And then we're softening forward over those legs. So as you inhale, think about lengthening, lifting, growing through the crown of the head. And then as you exhale, think about softening and folding over those legs. Nice fluid stretch. Maybe as we slow our movements down here, our thoughts begin to wander. And so we invite ourselves back to that attitude of gratitude. Just grateful that we're able to take this time to be present and mindful, to move our bodies and to breathe. Go ahead and walk your hands back up. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together and the knees out wide. And it's not important that you're able to bring those heels right in near the body. So you may be all the way in here, but you may also find yourself nice and wide. And both of those are great. All right, again, sitting up tall here. Exhale, folding forward. You can clasp a hold of the ankles or the bottoms of the feet as you breathe and soften forward. Inhale, coming up. And then we're just going to come to a comfortable seated position. So whether that's like knees bent, or if you're in a chair, you can just sit comfortably. I'm going to come to a cross-legged position because that's what works well for me. But just comfortably sitting, we're going to come into a spinal rotation here. So we will start by taking our right hand and just placing it behind our right hip. Just right behind your right hip. So if you're in a chair, you might even clasp a hold of the side of the chair. And then from here, we're going to inhale our left arm high, reaching through the crown of the head. And then exhale, bring that left hand to the outside of that right knee and the gaze over the right shoulder. We'll stay here in this twist, breathing deeply, allowing the belly to rise and fall with the breath. Good. Inhale as you release yourself back to center. And take a super gentle, little tiny counter twist, just barely bringing yourself over to that left side. And then back to center. Good. So something to be mindful here of in these spinal rotations and these twists is that it would be really easy to think of that arm crossing our body like a pry bar. It's like, oh, I've got some leverage here and I can pry myself into this twist. So we want to keep ourselves from using it like a lever or a pry bar. It's just helping maintain that natural rotation of the spine, but it's not causing additional rotation of the spine. So just be mindful of that. That's different than maybe like a competitive sports team that, we're not trying to crank ourselves into any position here. So now let's take our left hand and place it right behind that left hip, maybe clasping a hold of your chair here, the side of a chair, if that's where you're seated. Inhale, right arm comes up high, and we feel that lift through the crown of our head. And then exhale, bring that right hand gently across the body, finding that left knee, and bring the gaze over that left shoulder. Breathing here, allowing the belly to rise and fall with the breath. And inhale back to center. Take a nice big breath here. A little tiny counter twist over to that opposite side. Really small. And back to center. Good. We're going to bring ourselves all the way down onto our backs for our final resting posture. Actually, we're going to take bridge first, but if you're more comfortable in a chair, feel free to just sit easy in a chair. But if you're able to make your way to the floor, it's a nice way to open up the front side of our body in a way that it's hard to mimic that in a chair. So if you're able, bringing yourself down onto the floor. And we'll bend the knees and walk those feet in near the sits bones here. Taking those fingers down beside the hips, palms facing the floor. Making any little adjustments here to the spine. We want our spine to be nice and neutral, so we may have a little curvature in the low back, but not a big arch. Same with the back of the neck. Our neck is not pushed against the floor here. We have a nice little natural curvature with our chin away from our chest. And it's from that neutral position that we begin to tuck the tailbone and peel the spine up off of the floor as we lift the hips up into bridge. So we're squeezing our glutes and our hamstrings. That whole back chain is working here as we stay lifted. Breathing. And exhale, slowly lowering the hips back down to the floor. Good. And then as you're ready, allowing the legs to fall all the way down the length of the mat. Feet resting open to the sides of the room. Roll those palms up towards the sky. This is a great time to blink the eyes closed if you haven't already. And begin to soften the muscles around the face. You may want to take the jaw open and close or side to side. next few moments to bring your awareness back to your breath. Being mindful to deepen and lengthen your breath. And then beginning to let go of any kind of intentionality with the breath, just returning to a natural breathing pattern as you just allow yourself to be here in this space. Beginning to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Roll the wrists and the ankles. Take your time as you bend the elbows and the knees. Gently making your way onto one side. Maybe supporting the head into the hands or onto the arms. And then take your time as you use your hands to press yourself up into a seated position. Let the head come up nice and slowly. I am grateful that you chose to take this time out of your day to be present and to share your practice with me. Shalom.